And we mentioned quite quickly in the last Q&A podcast about this NBA Paris game, which didn't get a lot of attention here in Europe. I mean, nobody was talking about that game. There was no reason to talk about that game. So I thought, who should come to Europe? Who would come to Europe that you would pay your flight tickets, for accommodation, and also game tickets, which are usually they cost pretty a lot. I would say you may pay a few €100 to watch that game. Two NBA teams competing against each other. So, where do you think which teams should play, and which gym, and which country that you would actually go for that trip?
I remember even our colleague said that there aren't a lot of tickets for that game because NBA usually just gives out.
It's similar
Almost
to the
half
All.
of these tickets go to sponsor.
Or
It's
even
similar to
more.
the All-Star game.
True.
On public sale, there are not too many tickets available. I don't know if it's just a regular season game. Well, and if you can guarantee that everyone's gonna be playing, I want to see the Boston Celtics, for example, facing someone from the Western Conference. Could be the Denver Nuggets, could be the Lakers because of the hype and the so-called rivalry between Boston and LA.
Good luck getting ESPN or TNT or ABC to agree that the Boston LA is happening in Europe.
I know it is impossible.
Yeah, we're talking about hypothetical
I'm
situation.
just saying, yeah, like if it's a regular season game, I want it to have some meaning, like not just the Brooklyn Nets playing the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I want to see great players and good teams. So Boston Celtics, definitely one of those. We could be talking about Embiid facing Jokic, Sixers playing the Nuggets.
I would be worried if Sixers are coming. I'm not sure I'm buying the tickets because you never know if Joel Embiid
that's
is
why
playing.
I'm saying if I'm completely sure that the star players will be there and they will perform.
To me, it's simple, to be honest. Nuggets against Dallas in Belgrade. There is Nikola Jokic, the icon of Serbian basketball, and there's Luka Doncic, diehard Zvezda fan.
Right.
And you're bringing them to this, it's not going to be the same like in Partizan or Zvezda games, but still they're gonna make them some noise. And to bring those guys like Luka, I mean, he's from Europe, to play in this gym would be special for him. And I believe that we would see a competitive game, and it would be a great experience. So Jokic is a kind of a no-brainer. I thought about about a matchup, and I think that Luka Doncic ticks all the boxes in this case.
I would also like to see Minnesota, for example, as they're a pretty exciting team right now, and Anthony Edwards is one of the most exciting younger stars in the league right now. I know he's American, doesn't have any European ties or anything like that, but well, from the European side, you have Gobert. Belgrade, I'm not too keen on going to Belgrade. I would probably prefer a destination like Barcelona, Madrid.
Athens. You put Giannis with Milwaukee
Yeah.
again against Luka Doncic because he understands the meaning of playing here in Europe, and he will do his best.
You could go with Athens, but NBA game gives you NBA atmosphere, so it doesn't matter that much whether it's Belgrade, whether it's Athens. It's gonna be different. I'm just thinking where I want to go as a human being.
Okay.
So Spain, I always love to go to Spain.
Somewhere where it's sunny in January.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's quite a few teams that I have on my list, but I think Minnesota was a great choice as well. Anthony Edwards, definitely, but he has to be playing against another great team, I would love to see Steph Curry still, even at this point of his career. I would pay money to go see him in Europe. Denver, obviously. Bucks with Dame and Giannis. Boston for sure. Blazers, but just because they're my favorite team from childhood. I would think OKC as a name is a fun team to watch at the moment. They're building something special there with SGA, with Chet, with Jalen Williams, with Josh Giddey, and they have so many interesting young guys. Dallas, Phoenix with their superstar power, just to get a chance to see KD play in Europe, that would be, I think, cool. And if you have these teams matched up against each other, I would probably go and see them. It doesn't really matter where in Europe.
Yeah, when the NBA choose the game in Europe, first of all, it's a kind of complicated process because usually they decide a few years in advance. So you're not guaranteed what you're getting if the team will do some trades and stuff. You're not sure how the team is going to change. But there are also some other main factors that I figured it out. For instance, a lot of is based on the strength of the TV contract in Europe. And for instance, Paris has the second biggest TV contract in Europe, behind Spain. Also, since a lot of tickets are shared and distributed among sponsors and a lot of guests, it's also kind of a European hub where sponsors would like to come. So you have to find a sweet place for them.
So it's London or Paris?
London and Paris ticks a lot of boxes in those cases. So these are preferred destinations for the NBA. And I'm not sure if Adam Silver has communicated it yet, or maybe anybody else from the NBA reporters reported it as well. But I heard that there's high chance, although the NBA is happy with having just one game throughout the season in Europe, they might do 2 games where same teams would play. They would play 2 games, consecutive games in Europe. And hearing it might be Paris again. And although, again, it's always more likely to have Eastern Conference team playing in Europe because it's East Coast, time difference and stuff. It's easier to manage it. And to find this balance between NBA and Europe. I heard that this time it's very likely that Wembanyama might come and would make a perfect sense. I mean, in Paris, I was always liking of those French superstar players like even Rudy Gobert. I'm not sure if he ever came to play in Europe this NBA game. So for me, it would make a lot of sense. And of course, if Wembanyama is coming with San Antonio, of course, it depends on who are playing against, but it should be a nice game to watch for
So
Europeans.
Minnesota versus San Antonio confirmed. Paris 25.